Brodes Media.
He's back! He's back! Joel Embiid just went out there concussed with one thumb, a broken face, and I don't want to hear, oh, it was just 18 and 11, because this man dominated the entire time with his presence 36 minutes after not even being available for the last couple of games in Miami. That was outrageous, and you could feel the building. It was electricity. Those are the type of moments when you analyze Max Scherzer being like a demon, right? When competitors are on a different level and they go through a tear, it's almost as if they are possessed by an adrenaline rush, by the audacity of being the best on that specific night. And Joel Embiid was so absurd. I had the hair sticking up off of my body. Every piece of hair on my body was standing straight, thinking about what he was doing on that floor, the admiration from everybody as fans enjoying what we were seeing. What? You don't think that there's a correlation, you Heat fans out there, from Bam's production tonight compared to Bam's production in Game 1? Please. Or the last two games, just in general, his presence in Miami. This dude changes everything. It's almost as if this is a different series when your MVP is on the floor. He has the mask. He's out there hitting big shots after Maxey is saving the ball, going out of bounds underneath, or to the side, I should say, of his own basket. And Embiid gets the ball, and he gets a big and one shot. He swarmed defender right on him. Nothing but net. The crowd goes crazy. This is insane. This is insane. I had so much fun. After Game 2, I talked about how boring it was, and it feels like the entire series, it's just somewhat deflating because there's no buy-in factor, because the guy that's supposed to carry you to the promised land just wasn't available for you when you're not making a lot of shots. So why weren't you making a lot of shots? Well, the spacing and your offensive identity is completely washed, and you're running DeAndre Jordan and Paul Reed. And think about this, right? There were possessions where I saw Embiid get the ball right around the free throw line extended area, right around the arc, right inside the three-point line, maybe is a better way to describe it. And you're watching three defenders look towards him. He kicks it out to Danny 3, who has 6,000 feet in space to deliver, and that was one of his 7 that he made today. And look, Danny Green has had his ups, he's had his downs. There's no doubt he's been playing better ball as of late compared to what we saw in the early stretches of the regular season. And he gave you an abysmal performance in Game 2. But when I look at the way that he's played in the postseason as a whole, since getting the nod to start because of where Matisse Thybulle was and him taking himself out of the series in Toronto specifically, and how that somewhat has snowballed. Even though this was the best Matisse Thybulle we've seen in quite some time, I thought some of his defensive possessions on Tyler Hero stood out, and he had some spark. Don't get me wrong, I saw some frustrating fouls from my perspective where he's bitching and complaining. I'm going, dude, what are you doing here? You can't be playing that way. I didn't love the double technical with P.J. Tucker. You could tell P.J. Tucker was looking for that, and that's his style, right? There's guys like Patrick Beverley, and P.J. Tucker is obviously a name that plays with that edge. And there was a sequence earlier in the game where he's just running through Tobias Harris and going back towards his side of the floor, and he's playing that tough card of just banging shoulders with them, and then he moved on to the next guy and did it again. Like, that's what he was up to, was trying to create some havoc and trying to create a little bit of a buzz. That's what he does, tries to get underneath of your skin. So I don't blame Matisse Thybulle. He's the one that got elbowed pretty heavily by P.J. Tucker to begin for that one double T. But the other ones, yeah, they were irritating. Look, Matisse Thybulle definitely had an impact today, where in other games we go, what is he doing? He's doing absolutely nothing. He's giving you 0 on the floor. Getting back to Danny Green, though, my point is, since getting that nod to start a lot, this guy, you could see why he's on winning teams. This isn't just random. Oh, he's a winner. Oh, he's got multiple championships on different teams. Now that it's big boy ball, right? Now that it's the legitimate legitimate postseason. You're getting to that second round. Way tougher matchups than what you see in the first round. This guy, at this point of his career, too, keep in mind, when he was younger, it's a different sense. But the fact that he's able to kind of makeshift a trash season to what he's producing now, it just shows you the savvy veteran and the winning culture that's within Danny Green that has resonated throughout his other squads where they did win the championship, and he was an important role to the success of those teams. So don't get me wrong. It's not like every single night you're getting 7 threes from Danny Green. There's probably, just playing the number game here, probably going to be a scenario where he gives you another 1 for 6 or 1 for 7. But who knows? Joel Embiid's presence can change all of that, and you can see a little bit more rise out of this offense as a whole. The team shot 16 for 33 from deep today. That's 48.5%. Jimmy Butler did everything he possibly could in that third frame, and don't get me wrong, got uncomfortable, right? Look, a lot of things here that you can't get wrong with, apparently, as I've mentioned that maybe 7 times already throughout this show. There were some ugly moments. One situation played out with Doc Rivers where you had Joel Embiid and James Harden on the bench. It got uncomfortable. The game was tied when James Harden picked up that foul and you brought in Tyrese Maxey as a ball handler. There were some turnovers. The possessions made me sick to my stomach. You saw the Heat make their run. But as soon as the game got tied and you lost the lead, Tyrese Maxey, who did nothing to that point, made a monster bucket, then got a big possession where he was moving with his speed in transition, kissed it off the glass, got a big bucket there. So now 5 points with the blink of an eye. And then he just went on a rage afterwards. And this is coming from a dude who's 21 years old, has an awful first half in a playoff game. And then when the game gets tied, where it's possible that it's slipping away, because someone like Jimmy Butler is exploding, he has all the answers, and he's not afraid to take the shots, and he wants the big moment. And I know that this isn't anything crazy. This is now the second time I'm going to bring up something Tyrese Maxey related after the game, but it just shows you the maturity of such a young kid. They were talking about Joel Embiid and what it was like watching him play and when he went down, and, you know, just throughout, well, like he would go down, how are you doing, checking up on him. He goes, there's more to life than this. It's a 21-year-old kid who just had an unbelievable second half in a postseason game to keep this thing alive. When you rolled into the fourth quarter, that fourth quarter was the season. That's how much of an emphasis you have to put on what Tyrese Maxey did. Tyrese Maxey, with the entire season on the line, was a game-changing player. Just put it in that perspective, because that's reality of the situation. And then after the game, when he's answering questions after doing that in such a crucial moment, he's talking about how he just wants to make sure as a person, and when it comes to physical pain, that Joel Embiid was okay when he would hit the floor, when he did get hit in the face and things of that nature. What 21-year-old? I'll be honest with you. If that was me, I'm looking at all the Keith Pompey, what do you got for me, guy? Hey, Rich Hoffman, Derek Bodner, I'll be here all night. You want me to stay 25 minutes? I'd put my feet up. Whatever you need from me, guys. I'll answer all night long. Oh, jeez. You know what? I thought I did excellent, Derek. Thank you so much for asking. Yeah, D-line him. You like that third three? Did you like the second three? Which three was your favorite? How about I ask you guys some questions? Yeah, he's checking in on Joel Embiid. Oh, man. This kid's a treasure. Joel Embiid is a treasure. I will never forget this performance. And whatever happens moving forward, sheesh. If it is the ultimate goal of going down 2-0, Embiid returns, he wears a mask, they get out of the second round to get to the Eastern Conference Finals, that would be outrageous. Not even multiply this by 10 or 12. I would multiply this feeling by 1 billion. But looking at this game, his first game back and him touching the floor with that mask on, something I'll never forget. It is an iconic playoff performance to be battling that. The way the View World's Max Scherzer is now viewing Joel Embiid as one of the most ultimate competitors in all of sports, in the NHL, in Major League Baseball, in the NFL. This is now the pedestal that Joel Embiid is on. And you know what? This wasn't where he was when he came out of Kansas. This isn't where he was in the beginning stages of his career. But he grew up, he developed, he took big steps, he took big strides, not only physically, but mentally. What do I need to do so I can get to the level of LeBron, so I can get to the level of Kevin Durant, so I can get to the level of Kobe Bryant? We hated it. We despised it. Not me, but a lot of the fan base when he openly admitted, I watch film on ball handlers. I watch Kevin Durant. I want to do that. That's my game. I can't believe this. I actually heard a couple days ago a caller call in the sports talk radio and demand that Embiid gets on the low block more whenever he gets healthy. What the fuck is wrong with you? What is wrong with you? The reason why this dude is the MVP. And now I'm starting to actually think it is. I've been saying that in a facetious tone for the last week or two because we thought it was inevitable that it would be Jokic. Now, I'm not basing this off of the one nobody on Twitter that started a rumor today or tonight would have been the night because some NBA executives were there. I'm not basing it off of that. But Anthony Gargano is very, very connected. He was one of the first people to say Embiid's getting tested for a mask. He's getting fitted. And oh, by the way, he'll play in Game 3. He's been on that for a while. I know that he is very involved and very engaged on what's happening with Embiid. Now, he tweeted out that he heard Embiid was going to be winning the MVP and specifically mentioned today as well. But then he said, not today, but he brought it up. And then there was an article tonight on NBA.com where it said Kia MVP Joel Embiid. That was in the article. They fixed it and they edited it to say Kia MVP finalist Joel Embiid. Could have just been a standard mistake, forgot the word finalist, but I'm starting to put a couple pieces together here. And now all of a sudden, out of nowhere, are we seeing The Undertaker come out from the coffin here? Are we seeing Rey Mysterio, John Cena from the top ropes? Who's the other guy? Edge? Batista? Booker T? What else we got there? Stone Cold from the top ropes? Man. I didn't even get to James Harden yet. See, when you look at James Harden, 17 points, 6 assists, 8 rebounds or so, right? It's nothing that's flashy. And this is why the James Harden experience is a little wonky. He dominated this game as a point guard. But nothing really tells you that other than the plus-minus. Let's not just forget that he was a team-high plus 27. He exposed point guards in general when it comes to, hey, this is how it's done. He professionally set some things up. Some tough turnovers, ones he would like to have back, but he put it on display on how to professionally get everybody involved. And that's why I saw a fantastic piece, and I heard Rich Hoffman talking about this on The Fanatic too, which is when you look at James Harden without Joel Embiid, it's kind of irrelevant. People demanding him to give you 30, demanding him to will you to wins. That was never part of Daryl Morey's plan, once trying to get rid of Ben Simmons and move on from Seth, who was in the building today, and Andre Drummond. It was never, okay, can James Harden bring you to the promised land? It's what can James Harden and Joel Embiid do together as a tandem, and that's what you're trying to figure out. And these are the type of games where it shows you he's unreal. He is absolutely a weapon that changes so much of your dynamics. When he wasn't there, Maxey got overwhelmed with the ball in his hands, and the entire team looked out of whack. They looked out of sync. They did. Turnovers, the lead was lost, or it wasn't as big. It was getting creeped into. All of that was real. Harden comes back in after picking up that fourth foul, and it changes things.